We were taking in the scenery when suddenly the scenery really improved. These girls looked like they were waiting for someone like us. We have to learn everything the hard way. They really grow big men down here. We figured the only guys who win a Yank-Aussie row are the nips. And I guess they figured it that way, too. They seemed like a couple of regular guys. And when they'd learned we'd never seen the inside of an Australian beer glass, they decided we needed some education. To share a glass of beer is to share a new friendship. So we cashed in. Sometimes the beer is warm, Dad, but they've had to get used to it that way. And it's got a kick like a kangaroo. It looked more like a bargain counter than a bar. I never saw so many people packed in such a tight place. But these bars are only open a couple of hours a day. These cobbers, pals to us, were down on furlough from New Guinea. They've seen 3 more years of war than we have, and they've seen it in some tough spots. From the mountains of Greece to the Libyan desert, and not forgetting the Pacific. You know, Australia is the highest mobilized country of all the Allies. About 1/7 of the whole population is in uniform. Although beer is a favorite drink in Australia, mine's still coffee. And the Red Cross is the best place to get it. You know, Mother, the Australians ought to take a lesson from you on the subject of coffee. But this Red Cross had it down to perfection. The coffee was good. But it wasn't the only incentive. If you see what I mean. Along about the 5th cup, I found out her name was Pat. Aussie girls are much like American girls. They're bright, pretty, and swing conscious. Of course, I lost no time in asking her what she was doing that night. She said she had a date. When Johnny asked about tomorrow night, she said she had one then, too, to write a letter to her boyfriend in New Guinea. He and her brother are both in the Air Force. The Army teaches you always to have an extra plan in reserve, so I brought out mine and asked Pat how to get to the zoo. Well, she said it was very simple. All you had to do was to walk out onto Phillip Street, then turn left on the first corner, which is Martin Place, walk down, cross Elizabeth Street, keep going until you come to Castlereagh Street, at which point you get on a tram, marked Circular Quay. You buy a 1-section ticket and ride until the tram doesn't go any farther. Then you're at the quay. Then you take a ferry, not the one to Manly or Luna Park or Mossman, but the one to Taronga. This ferry leaves every 30 minutes, the one to Taronga. And after you get on the ferry, you ride over to the Taronga Zoo's jetty. Now, there are 2 entrances to the zoo. There's the upper one. That is the one we don't take because the lower one is nearer. It sounded about as easy as crossing Africa on a sled. Pat figured it was quicker to take us than tell us. She wanted us to see some fair dinkum Aussies. Fair dinkum means the real McCoy. So, we saw the kangaroos. We could imagine the kangaroos thinking, there's two examples of the Yank species. They're fairly tame, born in captivity, and thrive best on their native diet of hamburgers and ice cream. And one look was enough.